Hello, everyone. This is Phoenix Tremaine, and today we're going to be talking about Jonathan Jackson and why he actually left General Hospital. But first, if you haven't done so, please take a minute to subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Please hit that like button so YouTube knows what you're having for soap fans. And liking and subscribing is free to do. It helps out the channel a lot. So thank you so much if you do that for me. I really do appreciate it. Also, we have a membership where you would have seen this video first because with the membership, you get early access to videos, exclusive videos, our lives on Fridays, where we talk about all of the soaps and have some great conversations. So give that membership a try. We would love to have you. Now, why did Jonathan Jackson leave General Hospital? Well, he did an interview where he said he had made a sincere effort, and a sincere effort was made on both sides, his and the show's, to make it a long term thing. If you remember, it was announced originally that he was going to be on the show for at least 2 years, but he only lasted 9 months. He says that it was more of a real sincere attempt from myself and from General Hospital to make it work for a longer period of time. So, what went wrong? Well, he says life logistics. Jackson currently lives in Tennessee, while General Hospital films in California. The back and forth, while doable in theory, proved too tough in practice. Now, I saw last week that it was reported this was the reason, but I was waiting for an official source to actually confirm it. And when I think about it, well, let me finish. There were moments where I thought, this is Jackson talking. I think I can find the balance with the family and time back and forth, he shared. But then you just have to pray about it and try to do what feels right. We gave it our best shot, but we weren't able to keep it going. And here's the thing. This explains a lot. Explains why the writers would not settle Lucky down with like Elizabeth or even Christina, because it's apparently clear that he wasn't happy. And so Lucky was always like, it made it look like it was going to be a love triangle between him, Liz, and Christina at one point, his working at the bar, his friendship with Isaiah. Nothing was sticking. And I have a feeling that behind the scenes, he was probably letting it be known that he wasn't staying the 2 years. So this way, they don't have to like do a big romance for him and Liz, only to try to figure out a reason why after 9 months that he'd be ready to go. Because he was so wishy-washy about staying, and they didn't really give these two great romantic moments this time around, that it's easier to be okay, let you go, let him go. Although I do think that General Hospital needs Lucky. I've seen in my comment section where many people have said, this was a horrible return. They don't care if he leaves. They love Lucky, but they're not really feeling him in this capacity. And I agree because the writing was terrible, but the writing was probably terrible because he was wishy-washy about staying. So it also reflected in the writing that Lucky was wishy-washy about staying. But the one thing I can say is the reason why I wish Greg Vaughn or someone else would take over the role of Lucky is that the show really needs a Luke. And Lucky has great potential with the proper writing to be filling that hole that Anthony Gary left when Luke left. So I really think that, if written correctly, Lucky could be an adventurer like Luke. They seem to make it so that they was trying to get him involved in Sonny's business. There was rumors that they had a storyline where it was going to be Christina and Lucky running Sonny's business, since they're clearly trying to get him out of the business, at least for now. So there's so many different ways where one rumor after another would come, and you would watch the show and you would see that these rumors seems to be the real deal because the characters were going in that direction. And then after a couple of weeks, they let that plot go and they move on to something else. So while I did like Jonathan Jackson, I mean, he's been on the show since he was 11 years old, back and forth. But we need an actor who wants to commit to the show, that can really have an honest relationship with Liz or Christina or Molly or somebody new. I would have loved to have seen that. But unfortunately, Jonathan Jackson said that uh, being living in Tennessee and his family being in Tennessee, that it would be really hard on him. Now, here's the kicker, which makes me sort of feel like this is also a little bit of BS because Jonathan Jackson, if he misses his family, why is he doing what's coming next? And so he says, there's some touring coming up, which means he's still going to be away from his family. I'll be releasing a solo album later this year. I have at least one book that's coming out later this year as well. Actually, two, a book of poetry and an anthology I've been working on for 15 years called The Anthology of Longing. So while Lucky may be off the canvas for now, fans will still have plenty of Jonathan Jackson to look forward to. So it reminds me when Steve Burton said he wanted to spend more time with his family, he needed a break, and then a week later he was on Young and the Restless. So I feel like maybe he got on General Hospital just to get his face out there, to get the fans, you know, interested in him again, so that he could drop his album, drop his books, and have a fresh eyes on the things he's trying to do. So let me know in the comment section. Do you think Jonathan just had other things he wanted to do, like his album and his books, and going on tour with that, and he didn't want to be stuck in California, committing to General Hospital for possibly 2 years? He did 9 months, and he was like, "All right, I'm ready to go on tour." Or do you feel like, he really did want to spend time with his family, although he's about to go on tour? So, what do you think about Jonathan Jackson's exit now that we know his reasoning was he wants to go back to Tennessee and be with his family and not have to keep commuting to California? So, like I said, let me know in the comment section. I'm very curious to see your reaction to his reasoning for exiting, and I will see you in the next video.